Hello, and welcome to the demo for our Salesforce chatbot. Let's just jump right in. So the first thing that a user is greeted with is a menu that lists all the possible supported actions. You can create, update, delete, or get the status of any cases or orders that are associated with a particular user. It's important to note that for the purposes of this demo, we chose to list all the possible supported actions, but in practice, you don't want to overwhelm a user with a list of 30 to 40 options. We're probably just going to have one button per object type. So we'd have one button for case that would lead to a separate menu that would have all the actions associated with the case, and the same for orders. And of course, we can extend this to include other standard Salesforce objects, such as accounts, contracts, leads, work orders, things of that nature. The last action we have is to access the FAQs, which is built around Salesforce's knowledge base, but we'll arrive at that later in the demo. First, I will show you how to create a new case. So there are certain fields that must have data in order for an object to be created, and the identity of these fields depends on the object. So if you want to create a case versus create an order, the information that the system needs to be different. So the next few steps you'll see is the system prompting the user for the information that it needs to create this object. So the type of case, they'll say that it is a problem. The priority is low. It's also important to note that if for whatever reason the user prefers to enter text instead of interacting with buttons, that wouldn't be a problem. But the idea is that the fewer clicks and or keystrokes it takes for a user to accomplish a given task, the more simple the bot and the more likely they are to reuse the bot. Now we can enter a subject. We'll just say this is a sample case subject. And the same for description. This is a sample case description. And there we have it. Our object was created. If there was any problem with the creation of this object, it would show the error code and any associated error details, but obviously this isn't the case. So the next thing we'll do is show how to get the status of the case. Instead of clicking the button this time, I would like to get the status of my case. So this will execute a query that will return all the cases associated with a given user. Practically not the best implementation, just one, but it's not really a problem for the purposes of this demonstration, but once the number of cases associated with the user grows, this will become more complex. There's an alternative implementation that you will see later in this demo that will be better suited for those situations. But here you can see the case that we just created, the last four digits being 1023. This is the information that we just entered, so we'd like to view the status of this particular case. And you can see it has a status of new. As a default, any objects that are created have that status of new. Not any objects, specifically case objects. So the next thing we're going to do is show you how you can update any of these fields on any objects, particularly with cases. So we can isolate the case again, 1023, select update. And you can see, by the way, that this shows the description, the subject, and the case, along with the numbers. A brief synopsis so you can scroll through and make the best decision to verify that this is the object you want to change. Now you can select which of these fields you'd like to change. For us, it will be the status. And instead of new, let's change it to escalated. And there you have it. The field was successfully updated, and you can see that we changed the status field. So now if we return and go to get the case status, instead of new, it should show escalated. 1023. Success. Case has the status of escalated. So now I'll show you how to delete a case. And this is what I was alluding to earlier with an alternative implementation. Instead of automatically querying and returning all the cases, you can specify a particular number and then we can search to return that particular object. So the case number in question is 1023. These are the last four digits. So I will just pad this and then 1023 should return the correct case. Here it is with the information that we entered, and we just want to remove it from our Salesforce. And there you go. The case is no longer a problem. This implementation is virtually identical between cases and orders. The only significant difference will be in the creation. As I said earlier, the fields that are required are different depending on the object. So the information that the system needs to create a case object is not exactly the same as it would need to create an order object, and the same can be said for other standard objects. But the logic behind it is the same. So we'll move to our FAQs, which is implemented around Salesforce's knowledge base. So it's essentially a database of articles. So what my chatbot does is it will take whatever the question that the user has is, it'll take that question and separate the question into an array of keywords. And each keyword is matched against the title of an article. So it'll search the entire database and it'll determine the relevancy of the article based on how many of these keywords appear within the title. For example, let's say the question is how to order a gift. The top result will be the article how to order a gift that has 100% match of keywords. The next would be the article how to order, and so on. How to place an order by phone, and with links to view the full article, not just the synopsis. And this doesn't have to be presented as a carousel. It's just the presentation style I chose for this demonstration. But in a nutshell, that is the Salesforce chatbot. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to myself, William Johnson, or to John Sprunger. Thank you for your time.